Happy to have Matt Melzak, the voice of the Toledo Walleye, with us. They've clinched a playoff spot, so we're going to get a little bit more of you this season. Still 10 games to go. But obviously, teams want to peak at the right time, and they are playing some great hockey right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Fellow Golden Puck winner there, Joel. Appreciate it. But yes, they are playing great. Really just has been a continuation of what they've done for month after month after month of the season. Matter of fact, March, they actually have lost the most games in any month that they have all season. But they played so well over the course of the year, and this is why when you stack on those nice months, now you can sit into a spot where maybe you don't have the best March. You don't have to because you're already in great position. Hey, they turned around. They went 3-1 this past week, going all the way back to Monday in Tulsa, and then winning 2 out of 3 against Allen. Even though they lost the Friday night game, they came back, won the next 2, and did so in nice fashion.
Well, it's not just that they're winning, it's how they're winning, right? Like Saturday night against Allen, 6-5 in overtime. It took some grit after that third period comeback. It's their 8th overtime win. That's more than anybody in the league. What does winning like that say about them?
Well, I think it was twofold. I know when we talked to Dan Watson after the game, and then also on Sunday, he mentioned the fact, we didn't play great there at the end of the third period. You got a 2-goal lead. You got to find a way to win that game at that point. But then on the other side, the flip side of it, you go into that overtime able to compartmentalize what they were able to do and know they still had a game that they could win in front of them and go win it and really own the overtime until they scored the goal from Brandon Hawkins to win it. Those things are important to see. You got to find a way to be resilient in postseason, and this team showed that on Saturday.
Okay, you mentioned Hawkins, another big weekend out of him. The last 2 months, he's been the star on this team. And there's always roster moves at this level of hockey. But what does his consistency do for this team?
Well, I think you just look at it and you take him, you throw in TJ Hensick up front there, you throw in Matt Barry. These guys, when they're out on the ice, they're going to create something. Brandon Hawkins is that kind of player. He's going to make a play. And you look at Saturday, Toledo had struggled to score a little bit. They felt a little frustrated from the Friday night game against that same goaltender from Allen. He goes and makes some plays. He makes some unbelievable shots to give you a couple of goals. It really jump-started that offense to a 4-goal second period. You look at the goal that he scored on Sunday as well, where, it ends up being the game winner there in the third period. And he fakes out the goaltender like he's going to pick it up lacrosse style, and then he decides to go back down and backhand it past him and into the net. So while the goaltender's still upright instead of going down to block that. So it's just those little kind of plays. He's so talented. He's now second on the team in scoring. That's for a guy that's missed 2 months this year with injuries.
They'll be back in the Central Division the rest of the way here, including 3 games this weekend. And when they do that, there's going to be some new faces on this lineup.
Yeah, looking at a couple of new faces with a trade today with the Kansas City Mavericks, and picking up a guy in Jesse Mitchin, who has some really good ECHL experience. He's played 249 regular season games. He's got over 700 penalty minutes. He's a guy who brings some physicality to the front line. He can also chip in some offense. Yes, you're losing an offensive guy in Keegan Howdeshell back the other way, but obviously to make a trade, sometimes you have to give up something there. And then on the other side, signing a young man out of Ohio State in Quinn Preston, a solid performer each and every year down there. Interesting when you get to this time of the year and you start adding in guys like Sam Craggs and now Quinn Preston out of the college ranks. And what those guys can certainly bring you, sometimes they bring a lot of energy. And you got a lot of guys that have played 50, 60, nearing 70 games. These guys are coming in after playing maybe 35. And we've seen that in years past. I think the biggest that you think of is Tyler and Tyson Spink when they came in, and instantly Toledo was better. Not saying that those guys are going to perform at that kind of a level, but they do give you that little bit of a spark.
Fort Wayne, Indy, and the K-Wings are at the Huntington Center this week. 16 sellouts, best crowd in the league, so you know what to do. Matt, always good to hear from you. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Joel.